It is time. It's what everybody comes here for anyway.
Definitely
main,
what my parents watch.
the main event.
Indubitably.
So, per request from Papa Bloody,
Very
and by Papa Bloody, I don't mean Bloody the Elf. I mean Bloody the Elf's pops.
Yeah.
Um,
He is an avid fan of the Rotten Tomatoes game, like in it,
Yeah.
like recording his score and shit. Like,
Does he really?
a fan. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
He's yelling at the TV and guessing numbers and shit. He's in it.
I can picture him doing that. That makes me happy.
Yeah, he is a fan.
So, per his request, we are doing a revenge-themed Rotten Tomatoes game. So, all of these films are all revenge films. Yeah. So, are you ready? Bloody, would you like to explain the rules? We haven't done that in a bit. Go ahead.
Nothing would make me happier. So the rules of the Rotten Tomatoes game are as follows. This is scored just like golf. You want to have as close to 0 scores as possible, ideally negative 25. So we're going to go through 5 different films. Every single film, you're going to try and guess the critic's score, not main critics and not the audience, the critic's score as close to what you think they scored the movie as possible. For example, if you were to guess Gone in 60 Seconds, a reasonable score of 75, you would find out that the critics actually rated that movie at a 25%, and you would then gain 50 points. Now, because we don't have anyone to really play against, we basically see if you can keep your score under 100, which is, for me, basically impossible. I've never done it. I don't think I've ever had a...
No, you did it once, I think.
The last game I did pretty well. I did, what was it, 76, 78?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, there you go.
Oh, wait, no. No, you did like 120 something because it was one that got you in the end, I think. I don't remember. Maybe it was 76, 78. I'm not a doctor.
Neither am I. No, because remember I said I was going to keep it sub 40, and then I basically doubled that.
Oh, yeah. You're right. Okay. So, Bloody, all that said, are you ready?
I am ready for my first revenge-based film.
All right, so first film. Rambo must confront his past and unearth his ruthless combat skills to exact revenge in one final mission. Directed by Adrian Grunberg, starring Sylvester Stallone, Paz Vega, and Sergio Perez Mencheta. I'm talking about 2019's Rambo Last Blood.
Yeah, I love every single Rambo movie. Like,
Me too.
A lot.
Me too. All of them.
I actually know that Rambo films don't do very well. I'm going to go ahead and throw this one out. Okay, hang on. Just to be clear, This is the one where he's like adopted-ish daughter goes to like Mexico to meet her real dad.
Yes,
and
that's
then
the one.
gets, all right, prostitutes out.
Mm-hmm.
And she dies, and then spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Whatever. This movie came out years ago. If you still haven't seen it, you're not
came out last year.
Tropical Romeo. Do you guys want to hear a serious Alabama joke? Yeah, throw it in the chat. I'll read it. Okay, so this one's going to be rotten, and I'm going to say it's probably pretty rotten. I'm going to say 30%.
30? It's not a terrible guess, man. It is actually rotten at 27%.
Take you 3.
Very, very close. 3. Not bad.
I know everything after like the second one was just in the shitter.
Yeah, which sucks because I enjoyed them for what they were. So fun facts about this one: most of the booby traps set by Rambo in the tunnels were the same type of traps used by the North Viet Cong on American soldiers. Their purpose was to maim, but Rambo used them to disable his enemies so he can easily kill them because he is pushing 80. So, he's not doing hand-to-hand combat with anybody. So he's like, I'm gonna make killing you real easy. And he did. They were solid.
He cut through them pretty quick.
Yeah, I highly recommend watching it. I like how he's like, I could have killed you 20 times. It's like, maybe you wouldn't have gotten shot. I mean, maybe you should have done. Maybe
he's in really bad shape.
Do that. Yeah. This is also the first Rambo movie where he does not have long hair, nor does he wear the iconic bandana.
Well, he is 80.
Yeah, there's that.
He swapped that up with Velcro shoes.
It's like, why do these tunnels smell like Ben Gay?
Smell that? Sounds like he's running around in a diaper.
It smells like death and pea soup. All right.
That's John.
So next, a frustrated man decides to take justice into his own hands after a plea bargain sets one of his family's killers free. Directed by F. Gary Gray, starring Gerard Butler and Jamie Lee Fox. I'm talking about 2009's Law-Abiding Citizen.
Oh, I saw this. I remember liking this film.
Me too. I like it a lot.
Gerard Butler was probably one of his better films.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put it up there with 300. He didn't do a ton of great work, but this is not too terribly long after that, I don't think.
No.
You said what year?
2009.
Yeah, so it was like 2 years later.
Yeah.
So I don't feel like the critics like Gerard Butler very much. But this was a good movie. I'm going to say fresh, but barely so at 65%.
65?
Yeah.
Okay. You would be dead wrong. It is actually rotten at 26%. The critics did not like it. And it's funny because Gerard Butler put out a lot of good movies. And I really like this movie. Like, I watched this and I was very surprised with how good it was. Yeah. And but Gerard Butler has gone the way of like
Katherine Heigl.
No. Fucking Bruce Willis and fucking Steven Seagal just putting out a whole bunch of shit movies. Cuba Gooding Jr. just putting out shit movies left and right. The bargain bin movies, which isn't sucks. But fun fact about this, Gerard Butler stated in an interview that a scene where a character is murdered by being repeatedly stabbed with a steak bone was so gory that the MPAA gave the film's initial cut an NC-17 rating solely on that basis. When an edited version with much less blood, though still graphically violent, was submitted, the film was immediately granted an R rating. That's when he's eating his last meal, and he shares it with his cellmate, I guess. He asked for a meal from the steakhouse, and then he shared it with his cellmate, and then grabbed the steak bone and just went fucking shanked him with the steak bone.
There you go.
It's pretty dope. Are you ready for your next film?
Yes.
Good. In Mexico City, a former CIA operative swears vengeance on those who committed an unspeakable act against the family he was hired to protect. Directed by Tony Scott, starring Denzel Washington, Christopher Walken, and Dakota Fanning. Talking about 2004's Man on Fire.
You know what's funny is I've seen like the first half of this movie. I don't know how it ends.
Really?
Yeah. I remember really liking it too. And then it was just like one of those like...
It's long.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the end. I really don't know. It seemed really good, and it's Denzel, who is a critic favorite, along with Christopher Walken. I'm going to say this one's fresh, 75%.
75?
Yeah.
All right. Get up there. There we go. You'd be wrong again.
Shocking.
Yeah. The critics did not like this movie as much. I liked it very much. I loved every minute of this movie, as a matter of fact. And it's actually based on a true story, I believe. But it came in at rotten at 39%.
Oh.
So you got 36 on that one.
Well, I think I'm just about to clear 100 here.
Tough game. Not yet. You're getting there, but not yet. So fun fact about this, while in the film, so spoiler alert, while in the film, PETA survives the kidnapping and Creasy dies at the end. In the novel, PETA is killed by the kidnappers and Creasy survives. Yeah, good times. There you go. You ready for your next one?
Yes.
Okay. It's gonna be okay, man. I know. I'm gonna chalk this up to you're just distracted by all the Dr. Disrespect news. You just can't get your head.
Hang on one second. One second.
Mm-hmm. A man brutally murdered comes back to life as an undead avenger of his and his fiance's murder. Directed by Alex Proya, starring Brandon Lee, Michael Wincott, and Rochelle Davis.
Bro.
Talking about 1994's The Crow.
Yeah, that was. I can't. I don't know how anyone can say this was a bad film
Right.
when the main character fucking dies making it. Fucking dick move. You. I don't see how a critic can keep his career. I don't know if any of them did. If they think this movie was bad. I know that the audience loves this movie. Guaranteed that. Like, there's no doubt about that. But the critics are so all over the road. There's no way of ever knowing. I'm going to say fresh, but I'm going to say barely fresh at 63%.
63? Okay.
Yeah.
It is definitely fresh. But how fresh? Is it just barely fresh at 63?
Probably like 90.
Is it a perfect 100? It's definitely not a perfect 100. But it is certified fresh at 82%. So you got 19 on that one. So not bad.
Yeah, for me.
Yeah.
Hey, man, you kept it under 40 this time.
so I've got a few on this one because it is really interesting. So Brandon Lee, the lead actor on the film, son of the great Bruce Lee, died during a mishap on the set. A scene required a gun to be loaded, cocked, and then pointed at the camera. Because of the close range of the shot, the dummy cartridges loaded had a real brass caps bullet, but no powder. So after the cut, the props master, not the arms master, he had left the set for the day, dry fired the gun to get the cock off. He did. Knocking the projectile bullet into the barrel of the gun. The next scene to be filmed involving that gun was the rape of Shelley. The gun was loaded with blanks, which usually contain double or triple the powder of a normal cartridge to make a loud noise. Lee entered the set carrying a bag of groceries containing an explosive blood pack. The script called for Fun Boy, who was played by Michael Massey, to shoot Eric Draven, Christopher Lee, or Brandon Lee rather, as he entered the room, triggering the blood pack. The bullet that was stuck in the barrel was blasted at Lee through the bag he was carrying, killing him. The footage of his death was subsequently developed and used for evidence in the investigation into his death. As part of the lawsuit settlement, the footage was later destroyed. Lee is the son of martial arts legend Bruce Lee, who died in mysterious circumstances before completing Game of Death in 1978.
I didn't know he had Bruce Lee was up in the air too.
Yeah. The whole Brandon Lee thing was everybody questioned. There was supposedly a curse placed on Bruce Lee and his family, and they think that his death and Brandon's death were all associated with that curse that was placed on his family. Chinese voodoo. And although he was not at fault for the death of Brandon Lee, Michael Massey stopped acting for a year because he was so traumatized by the incident. His next film was...
he fucking shot a guy.
Yeah. His next film was a small role in Seven. Up until his death in 2016, he had never watched The Crow. He never watched the movie. And River Phoenix and Kristen Slater turned down the role of Eric Draven, so they could have been the ones that died instead of Brandon Lee.
Should just gave it to River. He died anyway.
Right, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, yeah, he would have just died sooner. Yeah. Just got to jump on it.
Year.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you ready for your final film?
Hit me, baby.
All right. Matilda, a 12-year-old girl, is reluctantly taken in by Leon, a professional assassin. After her family is murdered, an unusual relationship forms as she becomes his protege and learns the assassin's trade. Directed by Luc Besson, starring Jean Reno, Gary Oldman, and Natalie Portman. Speaking of 1994's Leon the Professional.
Great film.
It is.
Was this one of Natalie Portman's first? This is one of her first movies.
This is her first movie. Yeah, this is her very first movie.
Way to fucking start it, too.
Right?
That was a
Kicking it off with a fucking bang.
Yeah. I loved this movie. I thought it was absolutely fantastically made. I'm going to say this one, it's got to be fresh. 75%.
75?
Yeah.
Right. Not bad. It is actually fresh and certified so at 73%. So you're very close. Yeah, you were close. So I got a few on this one too because I love this movie.
Yeah. Hit me, babe.
According to Jean Reno, he decided to play Leon as if he were a little mentally slow and emotionally repressed. He felt that this would make audiences relax and realize that he wasn't someone who would take advantage of a vulnerable young girl. Reno claims that for Leon, the possibility of a physical relationship with Matilda is not even conceivable, and as such, during the scenes when such relationship is discussed, Reno very much allowed Portman to be emotionally in control of the scenes. Which is really well played, and that's kind of what I took off of that as well. Maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, look, it's a wee baby Leon.
It's a baby.
Mm-hmm. She's wearing the shirt also.
Yeah. All mommy wanted was a back rub. And that's what she got.
Mm-hmm. And here you are with a baby. During the scene when Stansfield interrogates Matilda's father, he smells the father and gets extremely physically close to him. According to Michael Badalucco, he had no idea that Gary Oldman was going to smell him, nor that he was going to get as close as he did. Badalucco says that in the film, his look of discomfort during the scene is completely genuine, as he felt decidedly intimidated by Oldman, and the physical proximity between the two made him very nervous. Do you remember that, where he's like... And he's like, ugh, okay. And then, this one's good. During the filming involving all the police cars on the street at the very end when they're raiding the apartment building, a man ran from a store he had just robbed, like in real life. When he encountered the movie set by accident, he saw all the police and gave himself up to a bunch of uninformed extras. They're like, it's like, I'm sorry, here's a gun, here's the money, I'm so sorry, it's hard times. They're like,
What?
I guess you're under arrest? Like,
Probably wanted to stay here.
Yeah. We'll get somebody for this. Yeah, fucking there it is. There it is. How do you feel that you did, Bloody?
I had 2 good ones on there, and the rest were all pretty shoddy.
Do you think you got your goal?
Did I keep it under 100?
Did you?
No.
You did, by a cunt hair. You got 99.
Yay!
99. Yay, Bloody. For those of you watching on YouTube, how did you do? Let us know in the comments. Did you beat Bloody's score? A very decent score for Bloody of 99. What did you guys think about these films? Let us know.
What's your favorite revenge film?
Yeah.
We want to know.
Let us know. There it is. That's the
show.
That's the show. We did it. As I said, these are all of these casts are now available on Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts. You know, whatever your podcast flavor of choice, we're fucking there, right in your ear holes. But for those of you watching on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe, hit that bell icon so that you're notified anytime we drop some hot new hotness.
We leave you a steamer.
But for the Bloody and Sutty show, I am SuttySmash, and this is
Bloody the Elf, reminding you, keep it posy.
Princess Bride is everything. Princess Bride is the perfect movie, I think. Like, Princess Bride, it's like, hey, do you want a romance? Yeah, Princess Bride. Do you want action? Yeah, Princess Bride. Do you want a comedy? Yeah, Princess Bride. Do you want a revenge film? Yeah, Princess Bride. Do you want a movie with a wrestler in it? Princess Bride.